cheeseburger. I know, right? Some people tell me I'm missing out in life, but it's okay. It's something about textures and things being put together that I don't like it. My life's mission. I know. Don't judge me, okay? This is a no judgment zone. My life's mission. I am fully committed to empowering individuals to maximize their greatness by any means necessary. So I am here to provoke your thoughts. I am here to empower you with purpose that will hopefully propel you to push beyond your current place and your current position. One of my favorite life quotes is, life is only 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it. And I have been living that quote out since I was 16 years old, and I first heard the quote in my DECA work class as a junior in high school. So when I tell you I am living, breathing everything that I'm talking to you about, I promise you that I truly am. And so next slide, please. No, I've never been to Whataburgers. I've never been to the street taco places. I am missing out. And maybe, before I leave this earth, I'll tap into some of those things. But for right now, I think I'm going to hold off on eating a cheeseburger or a taco. You enjoy them for me, though. So today, I just want you all to think about a few very thought-provoking questions before I jump into my facts. I know you all are the Agile team, and I know the way your brains are wired, that you all are heavy with your thinking. So I am going to dive into your thoughts, into your facts. But I want you to think about, I want you to really consider, what is your definition of greatness? All of us bring to the table a very different definition of what greatness looks like to us. And so I really want you to ponder. I want you to take notes. I'm looking at the chat, so I want you all to engage with me in any way that you possibly can. But I want you to think about, what is your definition of greatness? Like, how do you identify and celebrate your greatness? If you're anything like me, I'm sure that you found a time in your life where you have been able to recognize the greatness in others rather than to recognize the greatness that lies within. If you're anything like me, I'm sure that there was a time, and that one day in the future that you will feel like you will consider saying to yourself, have you ever wondered, is this all there is? Surely I was destined for more. And what is it about you that stands out and differentiates you from everybody else? So what is that one thing about you with specificity that really stands out and shines bright in the crowd? We all have that one thing that we can highlight and say really stands out. And then the last question I want you to really consider is, who really taught you how to connect and how to tap into your greatness in an effort to soar? So when we think about greatness and we think about success in the modern world, it equates to having an insanely high net worth and you're involved in actively changing the world. Again, take off the veil and recognize that there is no universal definition of greatness or success. So one part of the audience, success for them might mean, they're soaring in the top to the heights of their career, and they are looking to maximize all of the gifts and talents that they've been gifted and to make all of the money in the world, right? And then the other part of the audience, your definition of greatness might simply be spending time with your family and doing humanitarian things. Again, there's no one definition that truly defines greatness or what success represents for each one of us. I looked at the definition, and the definition that I found for greatness was the quality of being great, distinguished, or eminent. You want to tap into what greatness looks like for you. And so by taking on that definition people make for us, oftentimes we end up not really living true to our own desires. And as you all know, in your esteemed positions and for this esteemed company that you all work for, sometimes you have to ignore the noise that the world causes and realize that it is up to you. You have the power alone to truly define what those words mean to you. If you're anything like me, people can look at you and come up with whatever ideas they want about the work that you do and the kind of money that they think you make, or the car that they think you drive, or the neighborhood that you live in. But when we really talk about greatness, you are really tapping into the core of your heart. Greatness is it's a heartbeat. It's a heart factor. It's so much more than the amount of money that you make or the title that you carry. And so a few of the facts that I want you to consider: data gathered by the Harvard Business School from nearly 50,000 10,000 leaders learned that the ability to inspire creates the highest levels of employment engagement and commitment. Further research conducted by Bain found that inspired employees are twice as productive as satisfied employees. I like to believe that when you as a human are internally satisfied, that you are more than likely to be able to show up on your job in the fullness of your greatness. You are more than likely to be able to show up as an equal contributor and ready to give your very best, because that's what's happening in your personal life, right? Unless there is some magical portion or formula that I have yet to experience, I don't believe that you can be one person in one area of your life and 5 different people in 5 other areas of your life, right? It somehow should all mesh together. It should come together, and it should be an organic evolution of who you are. But we can't get to the organic evolution of who you are if you have not done the hard work, the HARD work, and the heart work, the HEART. And so in order to truly tap into your greatness, you really have to search deep down inside in that heart space and see what the beat of your heart is. I did a graduation speech many years ago, and one of the topics that I talked about was elephants versus eagles. And so I thought that it would be nice for me to share this little story with you all. Stay with me. I promise you I'm going somewhere. I challenge you to consider whether or not you are an elephant or an eagle. Now, when you think of elephants, we think of this very large animal, right? Strong in stature and unique in sight. You know, it's the biggest animal at the zoo. It's the biggest animal at the circus. They're very fierce creatures, or at least they appear to be. Elephants are typically, again, they're the ones that everybody wants to ride on at the circus and take pictures with them. Elephants are some of the most intelligent animals that there could possibly be, right? They have limitless potential, like each of you. I know some of you all are thinking, hey, if I had to choose, I would probably be an elephant. What I also want you to know, though, is that the manner in which elephants are trained, they have invisible shackles around their minds. The trainers tie the elephants to stakes with ropes that they cannot break free from. So as elephants get older, they become entrapped in their minds and they believe that they're not capable of breaking free. So oftentimes we as humans are similar to elephants in that we don't tap into our greatness as a result of the environments that we've been exposed to, or the pathologies that have been passed down to us through our families or our work environments, or what people have said about us. And so oftentimes many people do not achieve their maximum potential as a result of their minds being boggled down by what the world has said about them or what society has said about them. Now, I know this is some good stuff, right? I know that you've never really considered whether or not you were an eagle or an elephant. Elephants are very quick to give up. They allow themselves to be shackled by their fears and paralyzed by their thinking. Elephants have a sense of learned helplessness as a result of the manner in which they've been trained. There's a quote that says, watch your thoughts because they become your habits. And because elephants believe they do not spread their wings and soar like eagles. Now, up until today, again, you may have never considered yourself in comparison with an elephant. But if you really want to be honest and think about any unhealthy patterns or pathologies or thought processes that you've had about your journey of life, or your process or your evolution of becoming who you think that you deserve to be, who you know deep down inside you deserve to be, some of those things have prohibited many people from maximizing your ultimate potential. Now let's take a minute and pivot and go and talk about eagles. When we think of eagles, we think of a bird that flies extremely fast. Eagles have outstanding character and supernatural strength. I oftentimes identify as an eagle. Eagles can survive in any kind of weather. You see, eagles have long life and they understand that they have to fulfill their mission by any means necessary. Eagles are very strategic about their approach with everything. They have the ability to soar for hours and hours at a time, and they are recognized as a very strong and fierce creature. And so how I want to sum this up is that each of you are like eagles. You have the power and the potential to soar. Like an eagle, you have to make up in your mind that no matter how big the obstacles or the adversities of life, you will overcome and overtake it with the power that is on the inside of you. There is greatness on the inside of you, and we just have to make a conscious decision in our minds that we are going to be like eagles. You have to be willing to stand tall and to stand strong and to be ready to seize the opportunity whenever it is presented to you. What I love about eagles is that they are determined. They are determined to soar. They are determined to get to their next destination. And so I like you to consider whether or not you are an eagle in an elephant's body, or if you are an elephant with eagle's wings. Are there some limitations in your life that you need to pull back? Are there some blinders that you need to remove? Are there some things that's held you back? Are there some things in your past? Are there some heavy weights that you are carrying? Is there some feedback from one of your former supervisors, one of your former leaders that have held you hostage and has prohibited you from applying for that next role? What are those things? What are those limitations? What are those boundaries? What are those barriers? What are those blockages? What are those mountains or those glass ceilings that have held you back from moving forward to the next level? And so I told you I was going somewhere with this, right? So now I have you thinking, now I have you looking around, considering whether or not the wings that you have, whether or not they belong to the eagle, or if you have the feet of the elephant. Was this good? Let me hear something in the chat. Are you an eagle or an elephant? And do you have some work to do? You like sharks versus jellyfish. I love that. We are eagles. We are eagles. And let me remind you that I am here today to speak to the eagle that lives on the inside of you. And for those of you all who are teeter-tottering on the edge and living within some of your elephantness, just know that on the inside of you there is an eagle, and we are waiting on you to soar. So whatever work you have to do in order to soar, I need you to get into position so that you can maximize your potential and so that you can fulfill your purpose while you are here on this earth. Next slide, please. Embrace vulnerability to unleash greatness.